What do the rock carvings of Oued Djerat mean? Located in Tassili, Algeria, and dating back to the Neolithic period, they have many similarities with those of southern Oransa, Algeria, and Fezzan, Libya. According to Henry Lotte, they date back more than 7,000 years. Struck by its large naturalistic carvings, Oued Djerat was nicknamed the Vézère of the Sahara. After recovering the Tassili paintings in 1956 to 1957, Henri Lotte undertook in 1959 to compile an inventory of the carvings at Oued Djerat. Lotte's expedition was exceptional for the information it was able to provide and for the resilience of its members in the face of the difficult living conditions in Tassili. However, the brutal methods used at the time by Lotte's team, wetting with a wet sponge, scribbling with charcoal, destroyed the biological information that would have allowed them to be dated in some places. Today, some paintings are disintegrating due to frequent wetting by visitors. Among the various engravings, we can see the following. Spirals with the same coiling direction. This type of engraving is common and is generally interpreted as a symbol of fertility. Triple spiral. Unlike the previous spiral, the elegance of this engraving is evident. The two figures at the bottom result from the origin, from its center, of two lines in opposite directions. The work was done on a horizontal slab, a large engraved buffalo whose horn tips are separated by 1 meter. This leading fossil of the oldest rock art is magnificently represented here and corresponds to what animal paleontology teaches us: an engraved buffalo with a kneeling figure behind it, reaching with its right hand toward its tail. Either bristling hair or feathers can be seen on its head. A large engraved ox, whose snout has been worked twice. A more recent spiral crowns it, as if invoking the arrival of water. A painted chariot, drawn by 2 horses and running at a flying gallop. It could be a combat scene, with men lying in front of the chariot. This ochre painting shows the driver's good posture, but how could he have balanced on the platform? Another flying gallop chariot, painted in ochre. Here the perspective is better seen, as the reins run directly from the driver's hands to the necks of the 2 horses. The axle ends in 2 4-spoked wheels. 3 spears leaning forward appear to be fixed to the platform. 2 dogs run alongside the chariot. Below, 3 men in short tunics carry shields. 3 more precede the horses. They are armed with a spear and shield. One of them has a head reminiscent of a dog. An ochre painting of a chariot with 3 horses. The perspective is incorrect. The chariot appears to be flying above the horses. This period of chariots marks the height of the Euclidean era. There is a large figure on the left. On the right, a small figure that is difficult to see. A large bovine painted in red ochre. It partially covers a chariot, and the number of horses is difficult to determine. On the bovine's back, a small quadruped painted in white and red can be seen. It is followed by men, preceded by a small imp. There is a white square in the center of the ox. Its explanation remains unknown. 2-tone bovines painted in red and white march from left to right. A deer is visible in the upper left. Below, a parade of figures in short tunics. More cattle, antelopes and various animals painted with ochre and white paint. On the right, warriors armed with spears are seen. The painting is very fine with ochre, ranging from dark brown to wine-colored. A man armed with a spear also holds a strange object ending in a hook, which is common in this area. The engraved archer has a stylized figure. He wears a headdress and holds a bow as if he had shot an arrow. He may be wearing a lightly fringed cape over his back. The belt, formed by a double line, extends with a flowing tail. He appears to be wearing a phallic sheath hooked onto the belt, leaving his testicles exposed, as shown in some regional ethnographies. A warrior engraved with the same inspiration as the previous engraving. However, the head is this time that of a cynocephalus. The legs are well represented. The belt is formed by 6 lines. The bow is held by the wood in the left hand. Curiously, only the toes of the left foot are engraved. The man is followed by a dog. At the fork of the Oued Djerat, there is this representation linked to a very ancient fertility cult, now visited only by solitary nomads. This type of representation is usually deteriorated. A calf is finely engraved with polished surfaces on the head, belly, and legs. The hooves are clearly visible. Around the neck is a necklace with a pendant. The head of a sheep, hidden by the calf, appears at chest level, an antelope or goat. The fur is represented with a series of engraved lines and is, as in other engravings, accompanied by spirals, one with 2 turns and the other, more irregular, with only 1. Finally, and most enigmatic, the figure shown here evokes a devil and refers to hundreds of legends from the region, whose ancient myths have never ceased to circulate.